Hi, folks. I'm Dr. Joseph Reed. I want to talk with you about organizational politics. Politics can be a dirty word. I often ask participants in my workshops to free associate with the phrase organizational politics. And they say things like hidden agendas, sucking up, dirty, manipulation. There's not a lot of love out there for organizational politics. And if you subscribe to some of those same beliefs, you're probably limiting your effectiveness. Let me tell you why. Your mindset, the beliefs you hold, dramatically affect your behaviors. If you operate with a negative mindset about organizational politics, you're going to try to ignore them. You'll try to avoid the political process. You'll approach your job as if you operate within a logical, rational, organizational system. Big mistake. Just because you ignore it doesn't mean that it's not there. Have you ever tried ignoring gravity? It can be really painful. Organizations aren't computers. They're human systems. We may do our best to operate logically and rationally, but we do so within the context of our emotions, our perceptions, our values, and our beliefs. And you can't just depend on a good idea making it through the organization only on the strength of its own merit. It may, but how many times have you had a good idea that seemed to fall on deaf ears? Or maybe it got off on the right foot and then ran up against a brick wall of opposition later in the process. Friends, you need to recognize a fact of life. Organizational politics are real, and they have an impact. So I encourage you to improve your effectiveness, get more done, and have a more powerful impact on your organization by becoming actively involved in the political dynamic in a positive way. Wouldn't it be nice to have more of an impact, to have more influence, to have your voice heard? To positively participate in the political process, number one, have a positive mindset. Politics aren't inherently bad. They're just the way that power and interest come together to affect the decisions that an organization makes and the actions that it takes. Number two, be sensitive to the way that the organization works and how people within it function. Who are your stakeholders? Who does have power? Work to build coalitions and alliances, develop relationships. Actively work to build your credibility. Number three, cultivate influence. And recognize that influence involves the appropriate use of three things: power, communication, and strategy. So be flexible. Match your approach to the situation and the person you're trying to influence. Fourth, to be positive, you need to know what ethical means to you, and you need to follow your principles. It's very easy in the heat of the moment to rationalize actions that deviate from what we know is right. Situational ethics can be a very slippery slope. So always put the good of the organization first. You can't do wrong by doing right. Work towards the greater good. Finally, take an active role in the political process. See it as part of your responsibilities to yourself, and if you lead other people to your team. Don't let politics happen to you or happen to your team. You can't be an effective leader in an organization if you aren't willing to have a positive impact on its politics.